The day Noah Sterling was handed a folder containing $36 million in debt, his entire world collapsed before his eyes. The marble floors of Arcline Systems reflected the cold sunlight pouring through the glass walls as executives rushed past him without a second glance. Just hours earlier, he had been a respected operations manager. By sunset, he was a man carrying the burden of a financial disaster he didn't create. What hurt even more was that he wasn't alone. Waiting at home was his 8-year-old daughter, Ava, the only family he had left after losing his wife 3 years earlier. And the billionaire responsible for destroying his future walked away richer than ever. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that prove perseverance can change lives, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Light of Kindness. Your support helps these inspiring stories reach more people around the world. Noah had spent nearly a decade helping build Arcline Systems into one of the fastest-growing technology firms in the country. He wasn't a founder or celebrity executive. He was simply the man who stayed late, solved problems, and made sure the company kept moving forward. When financial irregularities surfaced, panic spread through the corporation. Investors demanded answers. Lawsuits began appearing. Share prices crashed. Then came the betrayal. The company's billionaire owner, Cassandra Voss, disappeared from public view just before investigations intensified. Legal teams moved quickly. Documents shifted responsibility towards several middle managers, and Noah found himself trapped in the center of the storm. Although he had never stolen a dollar, his signature appeared on operational reports connected to disastrous investments. By the time the legal battle settled, Noah's savings were gone. His home was sold. His reputation was shattered. Worst of all, he inherited obligations and guarantees that left him facing an impossible mountain of debt. The newspapers called him reckless. Social media called him greedy. Former colleagues avoided him. Nobody wanted to hear the truth. Every morning, Noah woke before sunrise and stared at the tiny apartment where he and Ava now lived. The walls were thin. The furniture was second-hand. The future seemed invisible. Yet every night, Ava would sit beside him at their small kitchen table and smile. That smile became the reason he refused to quit. Instead of surrendering to bitterness, Noah focused on survival. During the day he drove delivery trucks. At night he studied business operations, logistics, and supply chain management. While others slept, he learned. Months became years. The debt remained enormous. The pain remained real. But something inside him slowly changed. He stopped asking why this happened. He started asking what he could build next. One rainy evening, while working a warehouse shift, Noah noticed a problem that every company around him seemed to ignore. Small businesses were wasting huge amounts of money because shipping networks were inefficient and outdated. The idea seemed simple. Create a smarter logistics platform designed specifically for small businesses. Nobody believed it would work. Banks rejected him. Investors ignored him. Friends advised him to move on. But Noah remembered the countless nights when Ava slept peacefully despite their struggles. If she could keep believing in tomorrow, so could he. Using borrowed equipment and a tiny rented office, Noah launched a startup called Horizon Link. The beginning was brutal. The company's first website crashed repeatedly. Clients canceled contracts. Employees left for more stable jobs. Some weeks Noah barely earned enough money to pay rent. Yet he refused to quit. Every mistake became a lesson. Every setback became fuel. Slowly, Horizon Link began solving problems larger companies couldn't solve efficiently. One customer became 10. 10 became 100. Word spread. By the third year, regional businesses were signing long-term contracts. By the fourth year, national companies took notice. And by the fifth year, Horizon Link had become one of the fastest-growing logistics technology firms in America. The same media outlets that once called Noah a failure now described him as an innovative entrepreneur. Financial analysts praised his leadership. Business magazines featured his story on their covers. What nobody knew was that Noah still kept the original debt notice locked inside a drawer. Not because he wanted revenge. Because he never wanted to forget where he started. Then came the day that changed everything. A major international business summit announced a merger conference involving several industry leaders. Among the invited executives was Cassandra Voss. For the first time in 5 years, she would step into a room where Noah Sterling was present. The conference hall buzzed with cameras, reporters, and investors. Cassandra arrived expecting another routine corporate appearance. She wore confidence like armor. But the moment she entered the main ballroom, something felt different. Huge banners filled the room. Large digital displays showcased the event's keynote partner. That partner was Horizon Link. Employees, investors, and executives surrounded Noah with admiration and respect. The struggling single father she once left behind had become the most influential figure in the building. For a moment, Cassandra simply stood frozen. The man she believed had been permanently destroyed now commanded an empire worth hundreds of millions. The debt that nearly buried him had become the foundation beneath his success. As presentations continued throughout the day, Noah spoke about leadership, resilience, and responsibility. He never mentioned betrayal. He never mentioned revenge. He never mentioned her. Instead, he spoke about perseverance during impossible seasons. Many in the audience were moved to tears. Because they knew his story. They knew the sacrifices. They knew the nights he nearly gave up. After the conference ended, Cassandra watched from a distance as Noah greeted employees and investors. Nearby stood Ava, now 13 years old. No longer the frightened little girl from the apartment years earlier, she radiated confidence and pride. Watching father and daughter together revealed something more valuable than wealth. Noah hadn't merely built a company. He had built a future. A legacy. A family strengthened rather than broken by hardship. And in that moment, Cassandra finally understood something she had never learned despite all her money. Success wasn't measured by what you take from people. It was measured by what you build after everything is taken away. Special request: if you've ever faced a setback that made you stronger, comment below with the word "rise" and let others know they are not alone. Years later, journalists often asked Noah what motivated him during his darkest days. Many expected him to talk about ambition or business strategy. But the answer was always simpler. He remembered a little girl smiling across a small kitchen table when life seemed hopeless. He remembered choosing hope over bitterness. And he remembered that every ending hides the possibility of a new beginning. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Light of Kindness. Your engagement helps spread messages of hope, resilience, and compassion to people who may need them most. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't proving others wrong. It's proving that pain does not have the final word. And sometimes the person everyone counted out becomes the very person who inspires the world. The billionaire who left Noah Sterling with $36 million in debt expected his story to end in failure. Instead, 5 years later, she stood speechless before an empire built by determination, love, and an unbreakable belief that tomorrow could be better than today. And that was something money could never buy.